Exactly 20 years ago, on August 2nd, 2000, I came to America for the very first time. As I celebrate my 20th American birthday today, I cannot help but ask myself, what is it about this country, this environment, that keeps attracting people from all over the world? I think all of us have ancestors who came here from a different country, and it's only natural that we think, why do people want to come here? What is so special about this place, this environment, that until this day, millions upon millions of people choose to immigrate here? Why aren't millions moving to Russia or Brazil or Iran? Why do people until this very day keep choosing to change their language, their place, and live here? And I think some of the answers may come from today's gospel passage, because I believe there are two ways of approaching life: the old world way and a new, fresh approach to life. The way that says, life is what it is, accept your place in life. And the other way that says, life isn't perfect, let's make it better. One way that is defeatist, that says, I am who I am, I wasn't born a nobility, I was born a peasant, hence I have to keep my place in life. And another way that will say, can we organize ourselves better than that? You see, these two ways of approaching difficulties in life can be seen in today's gospel passage. Jesus and his apostles have to deal with a difficult but a good difficult situation. They are in trouble, but I like this kind of trouble. They had so many people come to listen to Jesus, and Jesus was such a great speaker that time just flew by. Hour after hour, and finally the apostles became hungry. Now, I would like to have that problem in our church when there are so many people and they listen to my sermon attentively for so many hours that after 5 hours of preaching, someone says, "Can we have intermission for lunch, please?" That is a good problem to have, don't you think? But this is exactly what's happening in the gospel passage today. Jesus' speech is so good that nobody realized how much time have passed. And now they are really hungry. Keep in mind, it's before McDonald's and Uber Eats. There is no delivery available. So the apostles come up with an old world solution. They go to Jesus and say, "Boss, you are a great talker, but we are hungry. We like your speech, but it's been going on for too long. And I bet these people who are listening to you, pretending to be polite, they are hungry too." And their advice is, let's dismiss them, for there is nothing we can do for them. It's a very much old world way of looking at things. It is what it is. Let's dismiss them. There is nothing we can do about it. And it's a very alien way of looking at things from the way of Jesus and from the way we approach challenges in this country. You see, when Jesus was faced with that dilemma, he asked for a solution. How much food do we have? Just a few loaves of bread and a few fish. Well, it's not a lot, but it's something. And with that something, with the power of sharing and solidarity, somehow, miraculously, everyone ends up being well fed. And it turns out there is such a thing as free lunch. Thousands of people are satisfied because Jesus was not okay with the advice, just dismiss them. We simply can't do anything about it. And that can't do anything about it attitude is so alien to America, isn't it? Because when we face a challenge, we don't say, I cannot do anything about it. We say, let's find a way to make things better. It might be difficult, it might be challenging, it might be hard, but yes, we can do something about it. Think to our founding fathers. All of them were immigrants from the old world, where the kings and the queens and princes and dukes and emperors were the ruling class. For centuries, legal documents in England, in Germany, in Italy would start with, by the grace of God, George, King of England, the third of his name, blah, 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 blah. Or by the grace of God, Queen Isabel of Spain, blah, 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 blah. This was the old way of organizing society. You were born into your privilege. If you were nobility, if you were from a royal blood, you had your life laid out in front of you just fine. But if you were the other 99% of people, if you were a peasant, your place in life was set in stone once for all. And this was so alien to our founding fathers and mothers that they said, we can organize ourselves better than that. You can't just say, by the grace of God, King of England, George the third of its name. Instead, they say, let's start our adventure, our experiment with we the people. We the people decide how to organize ourselves, not by the rule or order of kings, emperors, and queens, but we, the people, will find a better way to do things around here on this new land of ours. And if you think about it, it's exactly the way Jesus reacted to his problem of having too many people who are too hungry. Let's find a way to do things better. Yes, it hasn't been done before, but we can try it, can't we? And of course, our American experiment was not and still is not perfect. Almost all of our founding fathers had slaves. And we the people didn't really mean we all the people. It meant we the rich white guys. But this is why generation after generation of Americans, we scratch our heads and think to ourselves, can we do things better than our fathers? Can we improve the way we exist as society? Last week, I'm certain many of you followed the funeral of John Lewis, a great civil rights activist and icon of this movement, together with Dr. King and many others. And his life was all about that. How can we make things better? Yes, it hasn't been done before. Yes, we have been told, don't sit at this counter, don't sit in front of the bus, don't vote, but can we do things better? Can we improve the way things are? And John Lewis and Dr. King and so many others said, yes, we can. Let's try to make this American experiment even better. You see, this is the difference between the old world of looking at things, the defeatist way of looking at things. There is nothing I can do. Dismiss those crowds. And the Jesus way that says, well, it might be hard, but let's try. We may not get it 100% right away, but let it not stop us from trying. I think this is why millions of people immigrate here, because we don't stop trying. We don't give up on this American experiment. We don't give up on our families, on our neighborhoods. Yes, things are not perfect. There is a lot of room for improvement. But the Jesus way is, how can we do it better? Even when you come to think about our church, from the very beginning, our founding fathers asked themselves, how can be a Catholic parish, but in a better way? How can we organize ourselves that will reflect more our democratic American values? And that's why we are such a unique community. I think we are an experiment. in American Catholicism, where you can be both Catholic and democratic, when we can start by we the people of this church decide together how to organize ourselves. Of course, this church is far from perfect. Of course, my sermons, like that of Jesus, sometimes run too long. Of course, there are divisions in our community. Of course, we are not there just yet. But don't give up on your church just because it isn't perfect yet. Don't give up like the apostles and say to yourself, well, things are the way they are. Let's dismiss everyone. It's like a child who says, I don't want to play in this playground anymore. I take my toys and go away. This is the old world way of looking at things. The American way, and I dare to say the Jesus way, is to not give up, but to continue searching better ways to be a country, a family, and a church. Amen.